वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम व्यास मंत्रम। ओम व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। शिवमन्त्रम्। ॐ नमस्तेऽस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। ॐ नमस्ताराय नमः शम्भवे च मयो भवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। श्रीरामस्मरण। ओमापदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। ॐ नमोऽस्तु रामाय सलक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यः नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः। ओम श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनाम वरानने। ओम श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्नेभ्यो नमः। अथ श्रीमदध्यात्म रामायण महात्म्यान्तर्गत श्रीराम श्री शिव श्री दक्षिणामूर्ति नमस्कार मंत्राः। ओम रामं विश्वमयं वन्दे रामं वन्दे रघुद्वहं रामं विप्रवरं वन्दे रामं श्यामाग्रजं भजे यस्य वागं श्रुतश्चूतं रम्यं रामायणामृतं शैलजासेवितं वन्दे तं शिवं सोमरूपिणं सच्चिदानन्दसन्दोहं भक्तिभूतिविभूषणं पूर्णानन्दमहं वन्दे सद्गुरुं शङ्करं स्वयं अज्ञानध्वान्तसंहर्त्री ज्ञानालोकविलासिनी चन्द्रचूडवदश्चन्द्र चन्द्रिकेयं विराजते जयति रघुवंशतिलकः कौसल्यानन्दिवर्धनो रामः दशवदननिधनकारी दाशरथि पुण्डरीकाक्षः। अप्रमेयत्रयातीत निर्मलज्ञानमूर्तये मनोगिरां विदूराय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम अथ श्रीमद् ब्रह्मांड पुराणान्तर्गत अध्यात्म रामायणं बालकाण्डं प्रथमः सर्गः श्रीरामहृदयं शान्तिमन्त्राः नमस्कारमन्त्राः प्रार्थनामन्त्राः। ओम यः पृथ्वी भरवारणाय दिविजैः सम्प्रार्थितश्चिन्मयः सञ्जातः पृथिवीतले रविकुले माया मनुष्यो व्ययः निश्चक्रं हतराक्षसः पुनरगाद ब्रह्मत्वमाद्यं स्थिरां कीर्तिं पापहरां विधाय जगतां तं जानकीशं भजे। विश्वोद्भवस्थितिलयादिषु हेतुमेकं मायाश्रयं विगतमायमचिन्त्यमूर्तिम् आनन्दसान्द्रममलं निजबोधरूपं सीतापतिं विदिततत्त्वमहं नमामि। पठन्ति ये नित्यमनन्यचेतसः शृण्वन्ति चाध्यात्मिकसंगीतं शुभं रामायणं सर्वपुराणसम्मतं निर्धूतपापाः हरिमेव यान्ति ते अध्यात्मरामायणमेव नित्यं पठ्येतदिच्छेद्भवबन्धमोक्षमुक्तिं गवां सहस्रायुतकोटिदानात् फलं लभेद्यः शृणुयात् स नित्यं पुरारिगिरिसम्भूता श्रीरामार्णवसङ्गता अध्यात्मरामगङ्गेयं पुनातिभुवनत्रयम् अध्यात्मरामगङ्गेयं पुनातिभुवनत्रयं पुनातिभुवनत्रयम्। Hari Om. Salutation friends. Today is Sri Vinayaka Chaviti. Wonderful day. So let us remember Ganapati Bhagavan with the chanting of our Sankatanashana Ganesha Stotram. So in this we pray to Ganapati to do the Nashana of all our Vyavharika Sankata, all our Manasika Sankata and all our Sankatas en route to our Adhyatmika sadhana. Clear? Just chant this mantra, Sankatanashana Ganesha Stotram. We do it for 6 times. So that Vinayaka Krupa comes and we, without any influence or obstruction, study the entire Adhyatma Ramayana Shastra and experience Rama as Parabrahma, as Ishvara, and also have his darshana and see his Leela when he came as Avatara and see his Leela which is happening every moment. Okay, that highest knowledge will dawn on us when Ganapati blesses us by removing all the sankatas, vignas in between. Clear? Let us chant. Om Atashri Sankatanashana Ganesha Stotram Narada Vacha Om 6 times I told you. It has got hardly 5 plus 3, 8 slokas. So 8, 6, 48. 48 is 5 minutes maximum. Om Pranamya Shirasa Devam Gauri Putram Vinayakam Bhaktavasam Smare Nityam Ayukamartha Siddhaye Pratamam Vakratundam Cha Ekadantam Ditiyakam तृतीयं कृष्णपिङ्गाक्षं गजवक्त्रं चतुर्थकं लम्बोदरं पञ्चमं च षष्ठं विगडमेव च सप्तमं विघ्नराजं च धूम्रवर्णं तथाष्टमं नवमं फालचन्द्रं च दशमं तु विनायकम् एकादशं गणपतिं द्वादशं तु गजाननं द्वादशैतानि नामानि त्रिसन्ध्यं यः पठेत् नरः न च विघ्नभयं तस्य सर्वसिद्धिकरं प्रभो विद्यार्थी लभते विद्यां धनार्थी लभते धनं पुत्रार्थी लभते पुत्रान् मोक्षार्थी लभते गतिम् जपेत् गणपतिस्तोत्रं षड्भिर्मासैः फलं लभेत् संवत्सरेण सिद्धिं च लभते नात्र संशयः अष्टभ्यो ब्राह्मणेभ्यश्च लिखित्वाय समर्पयेत् तस्य विद्या भवेत् सर्वा गणेशस्य प्रसादतः इति श्रीनारदपुराणे सङ्कटनाशनं नाम गणेशस्तोत्रं सम्पूर्णम् ॐ प्रणम्य शिरसा देवं गौरीपुत्रं विनायकं भक्तावासं स्मरे नित्यम् आयुक्कामार्थसिद्धये प्रथमं वक्रतुण्डं च एकदन्तं द्वितीयकं तृतीयं कृष्णपिङ्गाक्षं गजवक्त्रं चतुर्थकं लम्बोदरं पञ्चमं च षष्ठं विकटमेव च सप्तमं विघ्नराजं च धूम्रवर्णं तथाष्टमं नवमं फालचन्द्रं च दशमं तु विनायकम् एकादशं गणपतिं द्वादशं तु गजाननं द्वादशैतानि नामानि त्रिसन्ध्यं यः पठेत् नरः न च विघ्नतें भयं तस्य सर्वसिद्धिकरं प्रभो विद्यार्थी लभते विद्यां धनार्थी लभते लभं धनं पुत्रार्थी लभते पुत्रान् मोक्षार्थी लभते गतिं जपेत् गणपतिस्तोत्रं षड्भिर्मासैः फलं लभेत् संवत्सरेण सिद्धिं च लभते नाथ संशयः अष्टभ्यो ब्राह्मणेभ्यश्च लिखित्वाय समर्पयेत् तस्य विद्या भवेत् सर्वा गणेशस्य प्रसादः इति श्रीनाथपुराणे सङ्कटनाशनं नाम गणेशस्तोत्रं सम्पूर्णम् ॐ प्रणम्य शिरसा देवं गौरीपुत्रं विनायकं भक्तावासं स्मरे नित्यम् आयुकामार्थसिद्धये प्रथमं वक्रतुण्डं च एकदन्तं द्वितीयकं तृतीयं कृष्णपिङ्गाक्षं गजवक्त्रं चतुर्थकं लम्बोदरं पञ्चमं च षष्ठं विकटमेव च सप्तमं विघ्नराजं च धूम्रवर्णं तथाष्टमं नवमं फालचन्द्रं च दशमं तु विनायकम् एकादशं गणपतिं द्वादशं तु गजाननं द्वादशैतानि नामानि त्रिसन्ध्यं यः पठेत् नरः न च विघ्नभयं तस्य सर्वसिद्धिकरं प्रभो विद्यार्थी लभते विद्यां धनार्थी लभते धनं पुत्रार्थी लभते पुत्रान् मोक्षार्थी लभते गतिम् जपेत् गणपतिस्तोत्रं षड्भिर्मासैः फलं लभेत् संवत्सरेण सिद्धिं च लभते नाथ संशयः अष्टभ्यो ब्राह्मणेभ्यश्च लिखित्वाय समर्पयेत् तस्य विद्या भवेत् सर्वा गणेशस्य प्रसादतः इति श्रीनाथपुराणे सङ्कटनाशनं नाम गणेशस्तोत्रं सम्पूर्णम् ॐ प्रणम्य शिरसा देवं गौरीपुत्रं विनायकं भक्तावासं स्मरे नित्यम् आयुकामार्थसिद्धये प्रथमं वक्रतुण्डं च एकदन्तं द्वितीयकं तृतीयं कृष्णपिङ्गाक्षं गजवक्त्रं चतुर्थकं लम्बोदरं पञ्चमं च षष्ठं विकटमेव च सप्तमं विघ्नराजं च धूम्रवर्णं तथाष्टमं नवमं फालचन्द्रं च दशमं तु विनायकम् एकादशं गणपतिं द्वादशं तु गजाननं द्वादशैतानि नामानि त्रिसन्ध्यं यः पठेत् नरः न च विघ्नभयं तस्य सर्वसिद्धिकरं प्रभो विद्यार्थी लभते विद्यां धनार्थी लभते धनं पुत्रार्थी लभते पुत्रान् मोक्षार्थी लभते गतिं जपेत् गणपतिस्तोत्रं षड्भिर्मासैः फलं लभेत् संवत्सरेण सिद्धिं च लभते नाथ संशयः अष्टभ्यो ब्राह्मणेभ्यश्च लिखित्वाय समर्पयेत् तस्य विद्या भवेत् सर्वः गणेशस्य प्रसादतः इति श्रीनाथपुराणे सङ्कटनाशनं नाम गणेशस्तोत्रं सम्पूर्णम् ॐ प्रणम्य शिरसा देवं गौरीपुत्रं विनायकं भक्तावासं स्मरे नित्यम् आयुकामार्थसिद्धये प्रथमं वक्रतुण्डं च एकदन्तं द्वितीयकं तृतीयं कृष्णपिङ्गाक्षं गजवक्त्रं चतुर्थकं लम्बोदरं पञ्चमं च षष्ठं विकटमेव च सप्तमं विघ्नराजं च धूम्रवर्णं तथाष्टमं नवमं फालचन्द्रं च दशमं तु विनायकम् ఏకాదశం గణపతిం ద్వాదశంతు గజానం ద్వాదశితాన్యామాని త్రిసంధ్యం ఎప్పడే నరః నచ విఘ్నమయం తస్య సర్వసిద్ధికరం ప్రభో విద్యార్థిరపదే విద్యాం ధనార్థిరపదే ధనం పుత్రార్థిరపదే పుత్రాన్ మోక్షార్థిరపదే గతిం జపేత్ గణపతి స్తోత్రం షడ్భిర్మాసే ఫలం లభేత్ సంవత్సరేణ సిద్ధిం చ లభతేనాత్ర సంశయः అష్టభ్యో బ్రాహ్మణేభ్యశ్చ లిఖిత్వా సమర్పయేత్ తస్య విద్యా భవేత్ సర్వా గణేశస్య ప్రసాదः ఇది శ్రీ నారదపురాणे సంకటనాశనం గణేश స్తోత్రం సంపూర్ణం ఓం ప్రణమ్య శిరసా దేవం గౌరీపుత్రం వినాయకం భక్తావాసం స్మరే నిత్యం ఆయుక్కామార్థసిద్ధయే ప్రథమం వక్రతుండం చ ఏకదంతం ద్వితీయకం తృతీయం కృష్ణపింగాక్షం గజవక్త్రం చతుర్థకం లంబోదరం పంచమం చ షష్టం వికటమేవ చ సప్తమం విఘ్నరాజం చ ధూమ్రవర్ణం తథాష్టమం నవమం ఫాలచంద్రం చ దశమం తు వినాయకం ఏకాదశం గణపతి ద్వాదశం తు గజాననం ద్వాదశైతాని నామాని త్రిసంధ్యం యః పఠేన్నరః న చ విఘ్నమయం తస్య సర్వసిద్ధికరం ప్రభో విద్యార్థీ లభతే విద్యాం ధనార్థీ లభతే ధనం పుత్రార్థీ లభతే పుత్రాన్ మోక్షార్థీ లభతే గతిం జపేత్ గణపతి స్తోత్రం షడ్భిర్మాసే ఫలం లభేత్ సంవత్సరేణ సిద్ధిం చ లభతేనాత్ర సంశయः అష్టభ్యో బ్రాహ్మణేభ్యశ్చ లిఖిత్వా సమర్పయేత్ తస్య విద్యా భవేత్ సర్వా గణేశస్య ప్రసాదతః ఇది శ్రీనారదపురాणे సంకటనాశనం నామ గణేశ స్తోత్రం సంపూర్ణం ఓం శ్రీం హ్రీం క్లీం గ్లౌం గం గణపతయే వరవరద సర్వజనం మే వశమానయ స్వాహా ఓం శ్రీం హ్రీం క్లీం గ్లౌం గం గణపతయే వరవరద సర్వజనం మే వశమానయ స్వాహా ఓం శ్రీం హ్రీం క్లీం గ్లౌం గం గణపతయే వరవరద సర్వజనం మే వశమానయ స్వాహా. Like this, little of remembrance, because today is the divine day, Ganapati Smaranam, and definitely Bhagavan Ganapati is there all pervading, is there very much in our heart, is there very much in the path where we are walking, and definitely is loving, kind enough to remove the obstacles en route and empower us with all the faculties required and pulls us, pushes us till we reach to the ultimate goal of Atmanubhuti as well as Mukti. So having prayed to Ganapati, now let us come to our Adhyatma Ramayana Adhyanam. It is from Brahmaanda Purana, given by Vyasa Bhagavan, and it is in the form of Uma Maheshwara Samvada. And in this first BALA KANDAM, Prathama SARGA, called as Sri Rama HRUDAYAM, in this to the question and doubt of Sri Parvati ji, Bhagavan Maheshwara, while giving the answer, he gives the knowledge about Parabrahma Tattva of the Rama from himself. Now he gives the quotation or the example or story of Sri Rama after the Pattabhisheka ordering Sita to give the Rama Tattva Jnana to Hanumanji. Now in that portion we are where Sita is explaining to Hanumanji about Rama's Parabrahma Swarupa. This should help us to accept, understand that every Devata ultimately is Parabrahma. Then after establishing in that, the next stage is not only every Devata, every Jiva ultimately, minus the Upadhi, is Parabrahma only. Then beyond that, not only the Jiva, anything that is Rupanamaatmaka, whether it is Jada or Chetana, it is the absolute truth only. Then one absolute self or truth or Paramatma or Brahma only is imagined as a multiplicity of the world because of the ignorance or projection or Maya. This is how the Vedantic ultimate knowledge should establish, should stably stay in our heart as intellectual knowledge. Later on, through the meditation, get into that experience. What is that experience? Everything is Ekameva Adhyam Brahma. And of that, Yat Sakshat Aparokshat Brahma, have the experience that Aham Brahma Asmi. Clear? Now, after studying this portion, the Rama whose puja we are doing in our puja room should be accepted both, all the four things. He has come as Manushya to teach us how to live as a Manushya. He came as Avatar to eliminate Dushta and to support the Shishta and Dharma. Therefore, in that way we have to do the Upasana. For removal of the Adharma, establishment of Dharma. And he is there as Ishvara doing Sushti Laya, and we should request him to not bind us with the Maya. And taking him as Brahma Tattva, we have to discover our identity with him. This is how, after study of Adhyatma Ramayana, we have to accept Rama in these four levels. So, and among that, always in the fourth level, that Aham Asmi Rama Brahma. Whenever it is not possible, then the third. If that also not possible, then 2. That's also not possible, 1. If 1 is not possible, then we are becoming lower than human, called as animals. In the ignorance, in the Maya, in the life of samsara, non-sadhana. ठीक है? राम है मनुष्य के रूप में आकर धर्म सिखाए, तो राम के तरह मैं भी धार्मिक जीवन जीता हूँ. This conviction and sticking to this conviction is minimum being human. Lower than that is non-human. Clear? That way we have to keep in mind. Now, let us chant what Mother SEETHA taught Hanumanji about Rama Tattva. We have seen 1.5 shloka. Only few words are there that we will see. Then SEETHA tells to Hanumanji about what is she. Then in the entire episode of Rama Katha, Rama Leela, who has done what, who has not done, that she will explain. She only did everything. Rama was only present. Clear? Chant the mantras. Ramam vidhi param brahma sachidanandamadvayam sarvopadhi vinirmuktam sattamatramagocharam anandam nirmalam shantam nirvikaram niranjanam sarvavyapinamatmanam swaprakasham akalmasham. So we try to understand each of the word last 2 days. Now, one beautiful thought. Carefully listen. When we are in the class, when the Guru Parampara, Acharya Parampara, with the help of these words, are trying to explain to us about the presence of the Paramatma with these Lakshanas, it appears as if we are little understanding. But the moment we go out of the class, see that intellectual effort trying to understand through the meaning of the words about the absolute truth goes away. That intellect is sold to the mind is sold to the senses are sold to the body. All of them put together are sold to the Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha of the world. Totally we become absolute non-sadhaka, full samsari. समझ में आ रहा? Then what to do? Not only in the class, but more than class, beyond the class also. Always remember these words. Use the intellect to contemplate on these words, meaning which indicates the absolute Paramatma. Till Paramatma's existence with these Lakshanas is convincingly accepted by us. At the same time, other than him, everything is projection, imagination. Now that Paramatma's this intellectual conviction will not give moksha. What gives moksha? Intellectually convinced Paramatma is my own self. When that anubhuti comes, anubhuti will never come unless I do dhyana. Understand? Therefore, dhyanam is the final. In dhanam, tattva anubhuti, atma anubhuti, brahma anubhuti. Only then, through the anubhava, now we know I alone am there everywhere. No thing is there other than me. Ahameva tattvamewa aham sarvam ahameva. Aham brahma parandhama brahmaham paramam padam. I alone am there, other than me nothing. Everything is my own self in various forms. If that is not done, meditation or contemplation on the meaning of these words, what works then? All the vasanas, all the worldly laukika prajna medaya pihitaha, and all our thinking, planning, acting is fully worldly, is equal to samsara. Now you understand how much is why the importance of always in satsanga, always in shastra adhyanam, always in swadhyaya, even though we are in rutam, satyam, tapaha, damaha, shamaha, agneha, agnihotram, atiti, then manusham, praja, prajannam, prajati. Even though you are all in that, if you are not in swadhyaya pravachana, we will be lost in the world. When we are along with this doing Swadhyaya Pravachana, at least we are aware about the presence of the absolute Paramatma as ourselves. सारे टेक्स्ट को रिलेट कर पढ़ोगे ना सुबह दोपहर शाम, more clarity comes. Now you see, even next 2 minutes only you can observe when these words are explained. The meaning of the word of Paramatma, how our intellect is lifted to the understanding. That is called as vicharana, that is called as chintana, that is called as contemplation. All else is worry, vichara and brooding, nothing but about the non-existing world. Just like in the dream, non-existing world is projected and suffering, So too in the waking also, something other than the self, we only project, we only brood that, and we suffer. It's just like you remember your enemy and you suffer. वो जिंदा है कि नहीं पता, वो कहाँ है कि नहीं पता, लेकिन आई रिमेंबर एंड आई सफर. इट्स अ माया. याद किया और उसने जो नुकसान किया वो भी याद किया और दुखी हो गया. जबकि वो नुकसान जिसने जिस दिन किया, वो दिन आज तो है ही नहीं, वो बीत चुका. एंड जिस दिन उसने नुकसान किया वो भी नुकसान था, बिकॉज वी डिड नॉट अंडरस्टैंड प्रॉपरली. द प्रॉपर अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज नोबडी चीट्स अस अदर देन आवर ओन प्रारब्ध. So that day I took that he has cheated me, and that mistake which I did that day, still now I am carrying the result of that day's mistake is taken as enemy, and I suffered that time. And any time I am thinking about him, I think about he has cheated me, and I suffer equally as I suffered that time. All this is called murkhata. All this is called aviveka. All this is called samsara. So too the sukha given by anybody. Nobody gives us sukha. Our own prarabdha gives sukha. And there is nothing called as sukha which is at the indriya level. All that is delusion. There is only ananda of the atmanubhuti. Atmanubhuti sprinkled and licked through the object is called as sukha of the world, either the mind or the senses. सब सोचते रहना, सुनते रहना. More and more contemplation. So always in our mind there should be 10-12 slokas in which the words indicate the absolute truth. We have to only contemplate on them. This is what our Telugu people were studying in Dushyanavidya, Shabdanavidya, Savikalpa Samadhi and Nirvikalpa, both in Hridaya as well as outside. 6 types of Samadhi Dhyana. They are listening, that's why they are not coming to class. They are meditating and realizing. They don't want other classes. उनको मिल लग गया, समाधि मिल गए. I also don't want to disturb them. Clear? Now what we have seen yesterday, Param Brahma. We said Param is beyond all which you see. Brahma is who is infinite. Sat means pure existence. Chit means pure consciousness. Ananda is one without. Ananda is the endlessness. Advayam, there is nobody other than him. Then Sarva Upadhi Vinirmuktam. Yesterday we have explained. Please, Upadhi is imagination. Imagination is Upadhi. रियलिटी में उपाधि नहीं है, उपाधि में रियलिटी नहीं है. उपाधि अनरियल है, रियलिटी रियल है. सर्व उपाधि भी निर्मुक्तम. Just much if you understand, only one example. The pure sun, who is millions of kilometers up above, has no conditioning by the mirror or the water. Clear? The sun who is in the horizon, thousands of kilometers away, is never having the conditioning of the water or mirror. Is it not? Sarva Upadhi Vinirmukta. He is very far away. He is never touched. His reflection in the water or the mirror appears to be conditioned by the surface of the reflection medium. Even he is also not conditioned. Why? To get conditioned, he should exist. Who? The reflection. Reflection is reality, nahi hai. So I, the jiva, is the reflection of me, the self, in the conditioning called as my mind. And then, as the water is shaky, the reflection in the water appears to be shaky. So too, as the mind in which the Atma is reflected as jiva is shaky, the jiva also appears to be conditioned by that mind's guna. Like the water is shaky, the reflection is shaky. Water is muddy, the reflection is muddy. Water is clear, the reflection is clear. Is it not? So too, the mind is tamoguni, the jiva is tamoguni. The mind is rajoguni, jiva is rajoguni. Mind is sattva jiva is sattva. Is it not? But all the jiva, all the while, getting conditioned by the changes of the mind, himself with all that happening, yet at the inquiry level, it is unreal. What is real, unreal? That which is independent is real. That which is dependent is unreal. What is dependency? Independency. Here, the reflection depends on the sun. Sun doesn't depend on the reflection. For example, just remove the water, the sun remains. Is it not? When you remove the water, the reflection has gone, but sun remains. But remove the sun, the reflection is not there. है कि नहीं? When you remove the water and the reflection, sun did not disappear, is still there. But if you cover the sun with something, the reflection is gone away. Therefore, who is dependent, who is independent? The sun is independent, not the reflected sun. So, who is independent? The self. Because self can exist without being jiva, but jiva cannot exist without the Paramatma. That is the deeper analysis if you want to do on the basis of this sentence, Sarva Upadhi Vinirmuktam. This is what just now Bhagavan Krishna also told to Arjuna or to Uddhava. He used the word is Yavat there. Yavat means it's your choice. As long as you keep your proximity with your Upadhis, you continue to be a suffering limited Jiva. If you want if you want to continue as Jiva, be in proximity of Upadhi. If you are wanting to be in proximity of Upadhis, you are continuing to be Jiva. In both cases, you are away from your real self. And there is liberation only in Atma, in your real self, never in Jiva, because it's conditioned by Upadhi. Then what you have to do, you detach from the Upadhi and you become your Nirupadhika Atma. See, through the wife, husband suffered. Divorced, there is no husband to suffer. Example. Everybody is suffering in this world relatively, conditioningly. That itself proves that in the relativity, in the conditioning, there is suffering. Absolute make, there is no suffering. A man never suffers, but a father, a son, or a husband, or brother, he suffers. In the same way, the self never suffers. But the self seen through Upadhi goes suffering, whether Upadhi of Devatas or Manusha, Pashu, Pakshi, they themselves have their own limitations, their own suffering. Even Brahmadeva has a suffering he had to create. करना पड़ता है मजबूरी, वो भी एक सफरिंग ही है. ओनली निरुपाधिक ब्रह्मानुभूति में मुक्ति है. That is for there also we concluded in Bhagavata with the same shloka. यावत् देहेन्द्रिय प्राणैः सन्निकर्षः आत्मनः तावत् अपार्थोपि संसारः अस्ति. Avivekinah. So here also, who is Rama? Sarva Upadhi Nirmukta. So there are three Ramas. One Rama, Sarva Upadhi Vinirmukta Brahma. Second Rama, he is using the Upadhis for doing some particular work. Same time, not conditioned by Upadhi inherently, but acting as if he is conditioned. Third Rama is seen by Parvati and all of us, who by seeing his action through conditionings can understand or accept the wrong thing that he is conditioned. Understood? The vision of Parvati about Rama is conditioned. How? Because she has not seen the Rama as Brahma. She has seen Rama only through conditionings. What Bhagavan Shiva teaching, what Sita is teaching is unconditioned basic. तो कंडीशन के द्वारा बाद में देखना वो व्यवहार के लिए है. Unconditionally, that's what Krishna taught to Arjuna. The entire thing, all these who are there in that camp and this camp, unconditionally all are Brahma Tattva. In that Brahma, there is no difference. Therefore, there is no killer and killed. Keep this Paramarthika Jnana intact. Then you are never suffering any of the pangs because you have the substantial knowledge of the substrate. Now in the Vyavahara, you are this Paksha, they are that Paksha, both have decided to fight war. You came, you fight. Finish. Vyavaharika Dharma, Paramarthika Dharma. How clear is this? What Guru teaches, what Shastra teaches is very clear. The problem is in our ambiguity, in our laziness of intellect not to think, that we are not getting clear understanding. Even the intellect tries to get the understanding clearly, the vasanas and the mana pushing the intellect away from this subject of inquiring about the reality into the world of Shabda Sparsha Ityadi. लाइक लड़का पढ़ने को बैठा, दोस्त आकर उसको खींच के ले गया खेलने को. होता है कि नहीं? So, Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam explained. All these are upadhis. And this is what we'll be studying for next more than 1-2 months in our Taittiriya Upanishad. The entire Taittiriya Upanishad in the Brahmananda and Murugval is the Pancha Upadhi and Upadhi Atita Parabrahma. What a beautiful subject. You are going to revel in that. Lucky ones are going to listen. Listeners are always lucky. So, Param Brahma, Sachidanandamadvayam is Paramatma's definition according to Sarupa Lakshanas Vedanta. From the Tadastha, Sarva Upadhi Vinirmukta means he may work through Upadhi, but he is never having conditioned by the Upadhi. And that self is always in each one of us also. The self in me unconditioned by Jagra Sapna Sushupti. हमेशा वो है अपना सच्चित स्वरूप में, वो कभी बदल, वो मैं हूं, उससे तादात्म्य करो, ये तीनों मैं नहीं हूं, इसको नकार दो, यू आर लिबरेट. रामं विद्धि परं ब्रह्म सच्चिदानंदमद्वयं सर्वोपाधि विनिर्मुक्तं. When this way I am contemplating, the confusion about Rama goes away, and that Sachidananda is my own self. Therefore, confusion about me also goes away. In fact, the research of these shlokas or words is equivalent to the research on तत्वमसि महावाक्य. यहाँ त्वम तत्पद शोधन हो रहा है राम के बारे में. He is not only avatar, he is Parabrahma. And I also am the same Parabrahma. Therefore, same Parabrahma, there as Rama, here as me. ईश्वर जीव का खेल एक ही परब्रह्म खेल रहा है. Clear? Listen it more and more, think more and more. When you are tired, exhausted, be at the feet of the Lord through some upasana, and even that you are not able to do some seva niswata to the world without ahankara. More than that, don't indulge in the objects of the world through senses. They create vasanas and they will attract again towards the worldliness. Then all we studied, etc., all that prajna is looted away. Tadasya harati prajna. So the Laukika Prajna loots away the Adhyatmic Prajna. Don't enter into the Laukika Prajna. That's Prajna means information, knowledge, involvement, etc. That is why एक निश्चय लेना जिंदगी में. मैं थोड़ा थोड़ा ले रहा हूँ, अभी नहीं हो रहा है. I don't know how many lives it takes. कि साध्याय साधना करे, थक गए तो सो जाए, न कोई वस्तु न कोई व्यक्ति में फंसे. Because ultimately they'll leave us, or ultimately we have to leave them. When they leave us or we have to leave them, why hold and prolong or extend or delay our spiritual unfoldment? You understood? बोर्ड लगा देना बाहर, मैं नहीं हूं, मैं अवेलेबल नहीं हूं, किसी को मैं अवेलेबल. When I am not available to anyone, then only the God is available to me. When to anyone available, they take me away, then the God just waiting there, bechara, for me. These simple looking things are the sublime understandings. A matured student, after studying Shastra under a guru for a long time, able to conceive and convince them. Okay, Sarvapadi Vinirmuktam, then Satta Matram. We explained yesterday, every object in the world has Satta. The pure Satta, on which, because of Viveka, the Nama Rupa is projected. When it is not projected, the pure Satta is called as Rama. Then Agocharam, because that Satta being me only, it cannot be perceived through senses as an object. Or Satta being such a sublime thing, and it has got no Nama Rupa Guna Jati Dravya, therefore it cannot be spoken with the words, seen with the senses, or thought over with the mind. Please remember, Satta, Chittu at the intellectual level are concepts. Conceptual understanding about Satta, Chitta never liberates us. Experience that I am the eternal Sat, I am the ever illumined Chittu, is the one which liberates. But to enter into that liberating experience, I have to meditate. To meditate, I must have the conviction. The conviction is through Mananam. Mananam is based on the information. Information is, I am the pure existence. On me, Aropanama are projected. Taking the projection as reality, I am suffering as Jiva. Therefore, I want to free from suffering, then get free from Jiva Bhava. To get Jiva Bhava freedom from Jiva Bhava, you have to free from Upadhi. When you free from Upadhi, you are Nirupadhika Brahma. In Nirupadhika Brahma, there is no bondage. There's no dukkha. See, that's what I said. Man never suffers. Indian suffers. Man never suffers. Hindu suffers. Man never suffers, but the black or white fellow suffers. That blackness, whiteness, Indian, Hindu, they're all conditions. Pure man is unconditioned. Go beyond that. Pure self in us has no suffering. But conditioned self called as Jiva has only suffering. We're all holding on to conditioning and suffering. It's just like a drink addictive, drug addictive, cigarette addictive. He suffers still he doesn't give up. That is called the height of aviveka and murkhata. We also are suffering through padi and we are addicted to that. We are told by the Shastra to give up. Now that fellow is addicted to drinks, drugs, if not in one life, maybe after 10 lives, when he is regularly exposing to the counseling, he may give up. So to even die, if not in this life, maybe in 10 lives, in every life when we are exposed to this counseling that you are not the Jiva through Upadhi, one day we may give up the Upadhis and discover our Nirupadhi का आत्म तत्व. अगर वो सुनेगा ही नहीं कि ये ड्रग्स ड्रिंक्स अच्छा नहीं है और उन्हीं दोस्तों के साथ जाता है जो दारू पीते खाते, then he will never be freed from that addiction. So too, if you don't listen to Vedanta through Shastra under the Guru in Satsanga, we are only listening to the worldly things with the people around. Millions of lives we suffer only as Jiva. How clear is this thought? How unambiguous this thought? Then how clear we have to be in our understanding? How convinced therefore we have to be in what to do? ध्यान देना भैया, समझ लेना, ये मौका है जिंदगी में हमारा. Especially our this small group of us, we are given this sublime knowledge. I don't know कितने जन्म जन्म का पुण्य है इस भयंकर कलयुग में, when everyone are flooded in the bhautikavada and upadhi, we are given the brahma jnana, the tattva jnana, the atma jnana, the mukti jnana, the shastra jnana. It is given, whether we are receiving or not, that is in our hands. तड़पना है उसके लिए, प्रयत्न करना है, कोशिश करना, यत्नेन कर्तव्य है ना. स्वाध्याय प्रवचनेन यत्नेन कर्तव्य इति सर्वैः सह स्वाध्याय प्रवचनानां संग्रहम्. See that? See that? See that? Okay? Every of these words should always be in our mind. Only contemplate that. Param Brahma, Sachidanandam, Advayam, Sarvapadi Nuktam, Sattamatram, Agocharam. Then Anandam. He is not a limited Ananda, not a conditional Ananda, not a Sthula Vishayadi Ananda. Unlimited, unconditional Sarupa Ananda. See, the Ananda there is what? I am infinite. Ananda is what? I am eternal. I am immutable. I am unconditional. I am pure, never cheatable consciousness. Never disappearing Satta, never disappearing Chitta. I am. That is called Ananda. Is it not? Just like you have a lot of money and you know nobody knows it. How feeling of security you have? The moment you know that somebody knows it, immediately you have a doubt, fear, kaun le jayega. The moment the doubt comes, fear comes misery. In the same way, when I know myself to be that which cannot be taken away by anybody, then I am safe and secure. That safe and secured feeling inside, because I am that self which cannot be taken by everybody or anybody, is called Ananda. All other things are taken away by Desha and Kala. Time loots away everything. Therefore, always there is fear in the world. Whether you are afraid or not, definitely the things will be taken away by the world. But self is not taken away with the time, because self is beyond time. It is eternal. It is beyond place. It is everywhere. It is in all situations, not conditioned by any situation. Therefore, there is Ananda. मैं वो आत्मा हूँ जो कई देश काल वस्तुओं के परिच्छिन्नताओं में नहीं है, इसलिए उसी को आनंद कहते हैं. Anandam. Then Nirmalam. Mala is from something other. Otherness creates the mala. Whenever the mala shabda you use, you remember that example we told you a year back, the चावल और दाढ़ी. खाते खाते मुंह से चावल गिरकर दाढ़ी में गिरा. So the दाढ़ी is impurified by the चावल. At that time you wash your दाढ़ी to remove the चावल. Now same दाढ़ी bana to bal fall in the rice. then the rice is impurified by the dadi. You try to remove the dadi there. Here you removed the rice. Why both ways samsara? Because the rice and dadi are different. Therefore, sense of difference is the mala. The sense of difference. And through the upadhi, there will be always difference. Therefore, it leads to the mala. That difference is the basic mala from where something good, something bad, labeling is done, after which raga desha happens. And what is good to one need not be good to other. What is bad to one need not be bad to other. Therefore, to that which I have desha, you have raga. To that we have raga, you have raga, I have dvesh. देखो मजेदार है कि नहीं बात. Like I love India, I hate Pakistan. But Pakistani, he loves Pakistan, hates India. Why? Because India and Pakistan are different. The difference, sense of difference. Like all I am Indians, then there's no sense of difference. But if I'm Andhra or Telangana or this, that, if you think, then again difference, then you suffer. So what is mala? The basic mala, sense of difference. Sense of difference is always the upadhi. Undifferentiated state is only nirupadhika atma. So Paramatma is that self in this. There is no other than him. Therefore, there is no mala. Therefore, he is nirmala. एंड द वर्ड मला इज व्हाट. जब कोई भी कहीं डर होता है ना, वो हमको दुखी करता है. इज इट नॉट द मला? एवरी बॉडीली डिसीज इज इंडिकेशन दैट देयर इज समथिंग मला इन द बॉडी. मेडिसिन रिमूव्स दैट. So too, as long as you have mala of sense of difference, you suffer. Only one thing is discover. Luckily, you need not do specially something to bring the sense of oneness. The sense of the reality, the one reality is already there. We only have to discover its presence and identify with that. Liberation 1 minute में हो गया. मैं वो परमात्मा तत्व हूँ जो सब में व्याप्त है, जिनमें सब कुछ प्रोजेक्टेड है. इतना ही करना है. पहले दिन जो पढ़ाते हैं वही चीज 1000 लाख जन्म के बाद भी पढ़ाते हैं. वह इसमें से फर्क क्या है? शुरुआत में बात सुने ही नहीं, समझ में नहीं आया, बट आफ्टर सो मेनी इयर्स सुने, समझे, ध्यान किया, अनुभव में आया. ओके, सो नेक्स्ट वन इज आनंदम निर्मलम, देन शांतम. शांति. That Shanti. What is the Shanti? None of the upadhis touch it, that is called the Shanti. The Shanti of the Akash. In the Akasha, the Saura Kutumbas are moving. In among them, there may be collision, there may be breakage, wreckage. In the Akasha, is Bhumi. In the Bhumi, millions of human beings, animals, doing all the funny things. All of that is not touching the Akash. That is called as Shanti. So too in the ocean. So many, the aquatics are moving. There may be a whales and seals of 20 meters sized. There may be small little fishes of 2 inches, 3 inches. All are moving, but none of them are disturbing the inner water, not the surface. That is called as Shanti of the ocean, inside. In the same way, Shantam is what? Untouched, unperturbed by any projections, imaginations, even if they are there. Shantam. Okay, I am the Shantam. So, Anandam, Nirmalam, Shantam. Then Nirvikaram. Vikara means modification. Anything subjected to time only gets modified, because the time is the factor which creates, which modifies, which destroys. Beyond the time, anything which is neither created, nor destroyed, nor modified. Paramatma consciousness is beyond time. Time is only a concept. That works only that which is under the time. And under the time are all the Pancha Mahabhutas. Mind is beyond time, therefore, mind never knows how old it is. Therefore, every old man, whenever he says, I'm not young, I'm not old, I'm young, he is telling it that at the time of telling this, he is with his mind and he is absolute correct. But that non-oldness, always remaining same age, he imposes on the body and tries to do that which a youngster does. Mentally is okay, but physically is broken. See, the Jiva in has never a time concept. He is never old. Because Jiva is a sankalpa, is a concept, no? Concept is of the mind is beyond time. Dekho. And Paramatma, to even beyond Jiva Bhava, how can the time touch it? Therefore, he is Nirvikalpam. Nirvikara means not going through any vikara. Hmm? See, that which has akara alone has got so many prakara. That which has so many prakara only has a chance of vikara. And that which is going through vikara only has a need to do the samskara. Is it not? Like I have a body, it is an akara. And it is a particular shape, it is prakara. And it is exposed to the atmosphere, therefore there comes a vikara. And I wash my face and apply what is cosmetics, it's called a samskara. Everyone must do that. The clothes have akara. It is a dress, prakara. And again to dust and all, it gets dirtied, vikara. You have to wash and iron it. It's called samskar. प्योर आत्मा में कोई आकार नहीं, कोई प्रकार नहीं, कोई विकार नहीं, कोई संस्कार नहीं. और आकार विकार प्रकार संस्कार जिसमें है वही बेकार जीव है, और जिसमें कुछ नहीं है वो सरकार है, वही परमात्मा. We are all bekar jiva is a sarkar. Sarkar is a Prabhu. Nirvikara or Nirvikaram. Then Niranjanam. Again Anjanam, tainted, stained. And things too of same degree alone taint each other. Is it not? Like dream and waking are different degree. Therefore, waking is never remembered in the dream. Dream never affects the waking. परमात्मा के अलावा कोई वस्तु ही नहीं है उनको टेंट करने के लिए. अगर इवन इमेजिन प्रोजेक्टेड लेवल में है तो भी दे आर अनरियल इज रियल. हाउ कैन दैट टच दिस? लाइक स्क्रीन एवर इज निरंजना. Anything projected on the screen of all the movie, none of them touch it. That's how on a movie theater screen, if a very fire accident is there in the movie, you don't throw water on the screen to quench the fire. Because the fire never touched it. Because the degree of the screen is Niranjana. Subtle it is. Niranjana. Okay? किसी से भी अंजित नहीं होता हो. एक रीजन तो क्या है, उसके अलावा कुछ है ही नहीं. Second, even if the projected world will accept it, it won't touch. Just like the snake never touches the rope. Because degree of दोनों they are real. That is real, it is mithya. दोनों का डिग्री डिफरेंट है. ऐसा नहीं कि स्नेक जाते जाते अपना थोड़ा सा पॉइजन रस्सी में छोड़ के गया कि वी हेल्ड द रस्सी एंड हमको पॉइजन लग गया. होता है क्या? Never the superimposed has its influence on the substratum. Luckily. Is it not? Otherwise, substratum would have never remained for us, for our realization, because it is anjita or stained or tainted by so many things that are superimposed on that. It's very sublime. This is called the Adhyatma Ramayana's Mahima. In that also the Rama HRUDAYA topic. Revel in this. If you are able to enjoy this talk, this topic, you have come to the intellectual level. If it is boring, if it is heavy, you are at the emotional level, vasana level, manovikara level, indriya level, you are in the objective world level. You are me. If we can lift ourselves to revel in thinking, listening, contemplating on these words, we have done the best to us. Because this contemplation is removing the age-old or age-long or millions of lives carried loads of wrong notions, loads of ignorances, loads of all projections, which were burdening our life with so much of dukkha. All that goes away if this knowledge is thoroughly convinced and we contemplation mein, meditation mein, we experience that as ourself. Okay. Next one is Sarva Vyapinam. He is Sarva Vyapi. This Sarva Vyapi is again relative. When you and I see the world of multiplicity, then we, from that standpoint, we have to say, he is permeating everywhere. From his own standpoint, he alone is there. There is no Sarva, there is no Vyapi. Therefore, Sarva Vyapi is the Lakshana Paramatma from the standpoint of the Sarva world which we see. Such way of talking about Paramatma is called Tatastha Lakshana. Like Sat, Chittu. Sat is pure existence. Chitta, pure consciousness. These are called Swarupa Lakshanas. They are not told in relation with anything. But the Sarva Vyapi is with relation to all the things which you do, which you see. Is it not? And the Sarva Vyapi Shabda, when we deeply contemplate it, it takes us to that level that alone is there is no other thing. So this Sarva Vyapi word, when you again think, तो सब जगह परमात्मा व्याप्त है, तो परमात्मा के अलावा कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए. अगर कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए तो जो दिख रहा है वो क्या है, वही तो बता रहे हैं. That's what is projected. What is projection? We studied just now that in Bhagavata, an imaginary, illusory appearance of something just because of aviveka or non-thinking. Is it not? Like I project you as a bad person. This is only projection because of my aviveka, that I have not inquired about you truly. When I truly inquire, I know what you are. Then why will I call you as bad? Example में अविवेक के कारण जो नहीं है वो दिखता है, उसको प्रोजेक्शन कहते हैं. विवेक करो तो जो है वो दिखता है, therefore जो प्रोजेक्शन है गायब हो जाता है. So the aviveka about the rope created the snake. When you do the viveka, rope is known, snake gone, and all samsara in snake. So this is the meaning of sarva vyapinam. See, if every of the word we take serious and contemplate, how beautiful thoughts are coming to us. Then atmanam swaprakasham akalmasham. These are few words are there. We will see them tomorrow. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Purnasa Purnamadaya. Purnameva Vashishyate. बोल श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. इतना काफी है. So yesterday we chanted what a powerful Narayana Ashtadasha Shloki. Today we will chant according to my sequence Krishnashtakam and Achyutashtakam. Okay, both of them are enough. Then we have Govindashtakam, Pandurangashtakam, Jagannathashtakam. Then Lakshmi Nrsimha, Lakshmi Nrsimha. So 3 दिन होगा, रहने दो 3 दिन करेंगे. So end में 2 stotras of this text, but ending में we do 1 small stotra of Ganapati because today is Vinayaka Chavithi. Om Strotrena Paramatmanam Toshayami Paramatmanugradvarena Paramatmanuha Praptirtam Sarvabahya Abhyantara Vigna Nivarana Artham Vishwashanti Vishwakalyana Artham Samasta Jivanam Adhyatmika Jnana Praptirtam Sanatana Dharma Vedika Samskrutehe Adhyatma Shastra Jnanascha Vishwavyapta Prajarartham Cha Om ओम अथ श्री आद्य शंकराचार्य कृत श्री कृष्णाष्टकम ओम 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 श्रियाश्लिष्टो विष्णुः स्थिरचर गुरुर्वेद विषयः धियां साक्षी शुद्धो हरिरसुरहंताब्जनयनः गदी शंखी चक्री विमलवनमाली स्थिररुचिः शरण्यो लोकेशो मम भवतु कृष्णोऽक्षिविषयः यतः सर्वं जातं वियदनिलमुख्यं जगदिदं स्थितौ निःशेषं योऽवति निजसुखांशेन मधुहा लये सर्वं स्वस्मिन् हरति कलया यस्तु स विभुः शरण्यो लोकेशो मम भवतु कृष्णोऽक्षिविषयः असूनायं यादौ यमनियममुख्यैः सुकरणैः निरुध्येदं चित्तं हृदि विमलमानीय सकलं यमीड्यं पश्यन्ति प्रवरमतयो मायिनमसौ शरण्यो लोकेशो मम भवतु कृष्णोऽक्षिविषयः पृथिव्यां तिष्ठन्यो यमयति महीं वेदनधरा यमित्यादो वेदो वदति जगतामीशममलं नियन्तारं ध्येयं मुनिसुरनृणां मोक्षदमसौ शरण्यो लोकेशो मम भवतु कृष्णोऽक्षिविषयः महेन्द्रादिर्देवो जयति दितिजान्यस्य बलतः न कस्य स्वातन्त्र्यं क्वचिदपि कृतौ यत्कृतिमृते बलारातेर्गर्वं परिहरति योऽसौ विजयिनः शरण्यो लोकेशो मम भवतु कृष्णोऽक्षिविषयः विनायस्य ध्यानं व्रजति पशुतां सूकरमुखां विनायस्य ज्ञानं जनिमृतिभयं याति जनता विनायस्य स्मृत्या कृमिशतजनिं याति स विभुः शरण्यो लोकेशो मम भवतु कृष्णोऽक्षिविषयः नराङ्कोट्टङ्क शरणो भ्रान्तिहरणः घनश्यामो वामो व्रजशिशुवयस्योऽर्जुनसखः स्वयंभूर्भूतानां जनक उचिताचारसुखदः शरण्यो लोकेशो मम भवतु कृष्णोऽक्षिविषयः यदा धर्मग्लानिर्भवति जगतां क्षोभकरणी तदा लोकस्वामी प्रकटितवपुः सेतुधृगजः सतां धाता स्वच्छो निगमगणगीतो व्रजपतिः शरण्यो लोकेशो मम भवतु कृष्णोऽक्षिविषयः लोकेशः कृष्णः शरण्यः मम अक्षिविषयः भवतु. The Lord Krishna, who is Sharanya for entire world, may he come in front of me and give me the darshana. Charma Chakshu also, with the Jnana Chakshu also. And in each of the shloka, what a beautiful Jnanam is given. This is something different from the other Krishnaashtakam which you chant. Vasudeva Sutam Devam, Kamsa Chanura Mardhanam. It is not written by Adi Shankara, I think, maybe somebody else. But this each of Adi Shankara stotra, when I'm chanting it, I'm so much tempted, forced to talk on them. Maybe there will be a 1 year after we are exhausted, tired of studying the Upanishads that we spent only in reveling in our devotion at the feet of the Lord through study of all this. एक साल तो हम लगाएंगे ही इन सब स्तोत्रों को पढ़ते हुए. मे बी सेम स्तोत्र थ्राइस ए डे, सुबह तेलुगु, दोपहर हिंदी, शाम को इंग्लिश, या सुबह इंग्लिश, दोपहर तेलुगु, शाम को हिंदी, so that I enjoy doing it 3 times. So 365 days 365 स्तोत्र हो गया. कोई स्तोत्र बड़ा है तो 2 दिन. I really enjoyed this. Now Achyutastakam, everyone knows. Om Atha Shri Sadhya Shankaracharya Krita Shri Achyutastakam Om Om Achyutam Keshavam Ramanarayanam Krishnadamodaram Vasudevam Harim Sridharam Madhavam Gopika Vallabham Janaki Nayakam Ramachandram Bhaje अच्युतं केशवं सत्यभामाधवं माधवं श्रीधरं राधिकाराधितं इन्दिरामन्दिरं चेतसा सुन्दरं देवकी नन्दनं नन्दजं सन्ददे विष्णवे जिष्णवे शङ्किणे चक्रिणे रुक्मिणी रागिणे जानकी जानये वल्लवी वल्लभायार्चितायात्मने कंसवे ध्वंसिने वंशिने ते नमः कृष्ण गोविन्द हे रामनारायण श्रीपते वासुदेवाजित श्रीनिधे अच्युतानंत हे माधवादोक्षज द्वारका नायक द्रौपदी रक्षक राक्षस क्षोभितः सीतया शोभितो दंडकारण्यपु पुण्यता कारणं लक्ष्मणेनान्वितो वानरैः सेवितो अगस्त्य संपूजितो राघवः पातु मां धेनुकारिष्टको निष्टकृत् द्वेषिणां केशिहा कंसहृत् वंशिका वादकः पूतना कोपकः सूरजाखेलनो बालगोपालकः पातु मां सर्वदा विद्युदोद्योतवत् प्रस्फुरद्वाससं प्रावृढं बोधवत् प्रोल्लसद्विग्रहं वन्यया मालया शोभितोरस्तनं लोहिताङ्घ्रिद्वयं वारिजाक्षं भजे कुञ्चितैः कुन्तलैः भ्राजमानाननं रत्नमौलिं लसत्कुण्डलं गण्डयोः हारकेयूरकं कङ्कणप्रोज्ज्वलं किङ्किणीमञ्जुलं श्यामलं तं भजे अच्युतस्याष्टकं यः पठेदिष्टदं प्रेमतः प्रत्यहं पूरुषः सस्पृहं वृत्ततः सुन्दरं कर्तृविश्वम्भरं तस्य वश्यो हरिर्जायते सत्वरं तस्य वश्यो हरिर्जायते सत्वरं जायते सत्वरं जायते सत्वरम्. Did we chant our everyday mantras? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantari Amritakalastaya Sarvayama Vinashanaaya Trailokanathaya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Om Bhagyavati Chandrika Bhakta Chittaki Ganagana Roga Paradam Voli Murtidhar Kutari Gaya Namo Namaha. Om Nasero Hare Savira Javata Niranta Navdvira Om Shri Hanumadvira Namaha. Om Shri Hanumate Om Shri Hanumate Om Shri Hanumate Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Om Shri Hanumate Om Shri Hanumate Om Shri Hanumate Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Om Shri Hanumate Om Shri Hanumate Om Shri Hanumate Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Om Shri Hanumate Om Shri Hanumate Om Shri Hanumate Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya 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 Om Vachanakaya Vidmahe Tikshna Dhimmahi Tanno Narasimha Prachodayat. Om Vachanakaya Vidmahe Tikshna Dhimmahi Tanno Narasimha Prachodayat. Om Vachanakaya Vidmahe Tikshna Dhimmahi Tanno Narasimha Prachodayat. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Lakshmi Narasimhaya Prahladaaya Cha. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Lakshmi Narasimhaya Prahladaaya Cha. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Lakshmi Narasimhaya Prahladaaya Cha. Only 3 shlokas of Ganapati. Om. Today's Vinayaka Chaviti. We'll conclude with Ganapati Smarana. Om Ajam Nirvikalpam Nirakaramekam Niranandamanandam Purnam Param Nirgunam Nirvishesham Niriham Parabrahmarupam Ganesham Bhajema Parabrahmarupam Ganesham Bhajema Gunatitamanam Chidanandarupam Chidabhasakam Sarvagam Jnanagamyam Munidhyeyamakasharupam Paresham Parabrahmarupam Ganesham Bhajema Parabrahmarupam Ganesham Bhajema Jagatkaranam Karanajnanarupam Suradim Sukhadim Gunesham Ganesham जगद्व्यापिनं विश्ववन्द्यं सुरेशं परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम गणेशं भजेम. So entire day life offered at the feet of the Lord. Om Bhurभुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्. ओम देवसवितप्रस्वात्यन्ततेन वसिञ्चामि अमृतवर्षं तो प्राणाय पानाय व्यानाय उदानाय समानाय ब्रह्मणे ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्मविद् ब्रह्माग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मैव तेन हन्तव्यं ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिना अन्नं चतुर्विधं स्वादरसेषविधं भक्षवसमायुक्तं नैवेद्यं प्रतिगृहीतां शालीनं पायसादिनं मोदकान् स्वराणि च नैवेद्यं संगुहानि च नित्यत्वनमस्ते सुभारसमित रामचन्द्राय कृष्णचन्द्राय चन्द्रचूडाय महागणाधिपतये समस्त देवता परम महानैवेद्यं श्रीकृष्णभो मध्य मध्य अमृतवाणी उत्तरा वैष्णव प्रक्षणासं ताम्बूल नीराजनान् दर्शयामि. ओम नीलमेघ श्याम कृष्ण नित्य जगन्मोहन कृष्ण बाल गोपाल कृष्ण भव्य मंगल वेणुगान लोल वेदांत विजयमित चोन भक्त जनाधार कृष्ण परमदेवाद मुक्ति संधाय कृष्ण मूर्ति मंगलम गीतामृतात् कृष्ण परम योगीश कृष्ण पार्थ सारद्रूप कृष्ण सर्वमंगलम कृष्ण सर्वमंगलम राम सर्वमंगलम सद्गुरु सर्वमंगलम नतत्र सूर्योपातारकं नेमावित्वमग्ने तमेव भानुमाधुरं नारायण हैदवादं तन्नो शुभोदया दासवेता विद्वा सीतावल तन्नो राम राम हरे आज तक आंजनेय द्रवतो एकंदाग्यो नोदरि मंगलम देवमणि गुणात्मक नमो ब्रह्माभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्यामृत व्यास विष्णु व्यास योगींद्र सुरशुकाम ओम यज्ञ राम चरिताम संप्रति ओम ब्रह्मलोकाशीष आलोकानेको दैवं देवतेभ्यो नित्य नमः. बोल सिया रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. राधा कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय. उमा चंद्रचूड़ भगवान की जय. सिद्धि विनायक भगवान की जय. रामायण महाभारत भागवत उपनिषद गीता ब्रह्म सूत्र अध्यात्म रामायण पातंजलि योग सूत्र शिव पुराण सुसंहिता समस्त सनातन वैदिक संस्कृति शास्त्र की जय. वेद व्यास सुखदेव सूतादि भागवताचार्य की जय. विश्वामित्र वाल्मीकि तुलसीदास आदि वेद व्यास रामायणाचार्य की जय. वेद व्यास विषमनि याज्ञवल्क्य आद्य शंकरादि ब्रह्म विद्याचार्य की जय. बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय. सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. आज के आनंद की जय. नमः पार्वती वते हर हर महादेव हर. सर्वत्र गोविंद नाम संकीर्तन गोविंद गोविंद. जानकी जीवन स्मरण जय राम राम. अम्बे माता की जय. बोलो समस्त भक्त श्रोता साधक जिज्ञासु मंडली की जय. Thank you for giving the beautiful day by taking part in these programs. See you tomorrow, all of you. Hari Om.